Have you ever noticed how some dates seem cursed? For the ancient Romans, it was the Ides of March. For Denzel Crocker, it's March 15th, a date that transforms the already eccentric teacher into something far more sinister. But why? What hidden trauma lies behind his annual descent into madness? Welcome to today's theory, where we uncover the dark truth behind Mr. Crocker's most erratic day of the year. Every March 15th, Dimsdale Elementary becomes a battleground. Students hide, parents keep their children home, and Mr. Crocker, he arrives at school with a van full of weapons, traps, and a particularly sadistic gleam in his eye. As Chester announced over the military-grade loudspeaker, "It's March 15th. This is not a drill," causing every student to scatter in terror. Tad and Chad blast off with rocket packs, Sanjay hides in trees, AJ tracks Crocker's movements with specialized equipment. These aren't normal reactions to a teacher, they're survival mechanisms for a day of guaranteed torment. But have you ever wondered why this specific date sends Crocker spiraling? The show drops subtle clues throughout its run, but the full picture reveals a tragedy so profound that it literally bent both Crocker's mind and body. Rewind to 1972, a 9-year-old Denzel Crocker couldn't be more different from the man we know today. He was beloved in Dimsdale, a true child hero who used his secret fairy godparents Cosmo and Wanda to help others and perform good deeds across town. Yes, you read that correctly. Crocker once had the very fairy godparents he now obsessively hunts. His childhood was otherwise bleak. His mother worked multiple jobs and was rarely home. He suffered under an evil babysitter named Vic. Sound familiar? But despite this, young Denzel remained kind and optimistic thanks to his fairy companions. The town adored him so much that March 15th was declared Denzel Crocker Day, a holiday celebrating the selfless child who had saved countless citizens with his mysteriously granted wishes. This is where the story turns dark. On March 15, 1972, during the celebration in young Crocker's honor, time-traveling Timmy Turner accidentally exposed Cosmo and Wanda's existence to the entire town. The revelation of real fairies created chaos. Fairy law dictated an immediate response. Jorgen von Strangle, the toughest fairy in the universe, arrived to erase everyone's memories of the incident. For young Denzel, this meant forgetting not just the day's events, but the existence of his fairy godparents entirely. But something went catastrophically wrong. Crocker received an overdose of forgetacin from the memory wipers, far more than his small body could handle. The magical overdose didn't just erase his memories, it physically warped him. His spine twisted, his ear migrated to his neck, his once bright eyes dulled behind thick glasses, and most tragically, his mind fractured, leaving only fragments of fairy-related memories swimming in a sea of confusion. When the smoke cleared, Crocker stood disfigured in the middle of his own celebration with no memory of why everyone was gathered there. The townspeople, equally confused with their partial memory wipe, assumed they must be an angry mob and chased the bewildered child through the streets. In one day, Denzel Crocker lost his fairies, his memories, his physical normalcy, the town's admiration, and ultimately his future. Fast forward to the present. Every year as March 15th approaches, Crocker experiences what psychologists would call an anniversary reaction, a subconscious response to past trauma. His body remembers what his mind cannot fully recall. Crocker's mother attempts to comfort him each year with a cake reading "Happy March 15th," but this only enrages him further. "I cannot even remember a time in my life that I was happy," he tells her, a heartbreaking irony considering March 15th was once meant to celebrate his happiness and heroism. What makes this theory especially poignant is that despite losing his conscious memories, Crocker managed to leave himself a message before the wipe. Fairy godparents exist. This faint echo of truth became the foundation of his lifelong obsession. The true tragedy of Denzel Crocker isn't that he's wrong about fairies, it's that he's right, but for reasons he can never fully remember. His madness stems from fragments of real memories fighting against magical suppression. Every March 15th, as Crocker terrorizes his students and rampages through Dimsdale with fairy hunting equipment, he's unconsciously recreating the chaos of that fateful day, desperately trying to recapture what was stolen from him. And the final twist of the knife? The very fairies he lost, Cosmo and Wanda, now belong to Timmy Turner, the same person who, in a time travel loop, inadvertently caused Crocker's downfall in the first place. Crocker isn't just hunting any fairies, he's hunting his fairies, guided by a soul-deep wound that reopens every March 15th. Next time you watch Mr. Crocker go off the deep end on March 15th, remember, you're not watching a villain in his element, You're watching a broken man reliving his greatest trauma, the day he lost everything and no one, not even himself, fully noticed what happened. That hunched back carries the weight of forgotten happiness. Those twitches echo magical removal. And that obsession with fairy godparents, it's the last remaining connection to the only time in his life when he was truly loved and happy. March 15th isn't just Crocker's worst day, it's the anniversary of the death of who he was meant to be. So what do you think? Does this theory change how you see Dimsdale's most notorious teacher? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more cartoon theories that will make you question everything you thought you knew about your childhood favorites. Until next time, keep your eyes open for fairy godparents and maybe be a little kinder to Mr. Crocker on March 15th.